Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything. This is James, continuing today with drawing every country in the world's flag. And, oh boy, the time has come. It's finally here. I've been talking about this one a lot. I've been fearing having to do this flag. We're going into Central Asia, right up on the Caspian Sea, and we are finally doing Turkmenistan. All right, so Turkmenistan is by far the most complicated flag in the world, and legend has it, people have actually died trying to draw this flag. So if there's no episode tomorrow, you'll know what happened. But I think that we can manage because got a little bit of practice I don't know, was that last week, a few days ago, whatever, what is time? A little bit of practice with Belarus. Kind of a similar design. It's got the like the silk pattern going down the side, but it's a lot more complicated than that. So, whew. All right, guys, let's get down to it. We got to do them all, right? So, Turkmenistan, you are no exception, and I hope that I can do your flag justice. Especially because you're a fairly authoritarian country, and if I offend you, that might actually be considered a crime. So we'll get to that. We'll get to the history of this former Soviet Socialist Republic in Central Asia, one of the stands, Turkmenistan. We'll get to all of that because we're going to have plenty of time to talk about stuff today. Because again, this is going to take some time, right? So put on some music, go grab a snack, grab a drink. I got a drink. I got some water here because I know I'm gonna get dehydrated. I'm sweating already drawing this one. Yeah, so a little nervous here, guys. A little nervous, but I think we're going to manage. Have I failed you yet? I don't think so. If I have, put it in the comments. I'd like to know. But Turkmenistan, all right? So fairly complicated history. It's kind of at the crossroads of the Persian Empire. So a lot of Muslims, also Mongols, Turks, and then eventually Russians. Important kind of a geostrategic location, kind of right on the Silk Roads there. So a lot of trade, especially in ancient times, came in and out of what is now Turkmenistan. Very, very rich in hydrocarbons. So that's one of the main exports of their economy, like today, is hydrocarbons. They do have some issues though, as far as like actually taking advantage of those natural resources. And I think part of it is probably just due to the kind of like the scars of authoritarian communism that never really went away. But we'll get to all of that. So Russian Empire, actually before I get to that, because again we got plenty of time here, in like the Middle Ages, right? So medieval times, it was actually one of the most important cities in the Islamic world, right? So kind of the height of like of Ottoman Empire and global influence. Well, not really global, but you know what I mean. World influence at that time as far as who the main powers were on the stage in that period. The New World not really factoring into things yet. And then the Russians kind of expand their empire into what is now Turkmenistan. And that's in the late 1800s. So the Russians being there kind of just makes them like a natural. Hold on a minute here. We're not even at the hard part yet, and I'm already kind of trying to eye things and figure stuff out, because it's got this Islamic crescent, and you know what that means. It means we got some stars in there too, so I just want to kind of place them first before we get down and dirty here. Let's just get rid of those pencil lines in the crescent. Okay. Where was I? Russians? Something about Turks? I forget. Oh yeah, Russians. Late 1800s Russians. Annexation. So that kind of makes Turkmenistan a natural candidate, right, to join the Soviet Union, which they of course do in 1924, but not without resistance. All right, so Turkmenistan kind of having strong Islamic ties at that time. Religion and communism do not mix well, and Islamic faith being very strong led to a lot of resistance factions. But unfortunately, Turkmenistan, not really like a strong nation state like a European one or anything like that. It's more just kind of like a wing of like the Turkic people in that area, right? So like the former, Turkey just actually kind of started by this point, modern Turkey, after the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. So they're much stronger of like a nation than Turkmenistan was. So made it, despite the resistance, made it fairly a kind of a walk in the park for the communists to take over. So it becomes an SSR of Turkmenistan, right? And there was a Turkistan as well, but that was fairly short-lived, and that kind of shared some territory with other SSRs that kind of became like the future post-Soviet republics of 1991. And again, this country strategically important because of the natural gas reserves, and this leads to what I think is a pretty cool story. So the Soviets in 1971, right, they found like a pit of natural gas there, and they wanted to do like I am not like an engineer, obviously, but I don't know how this works, right? You got to do something where it's like a controlled burn, like if something is like I don't know, like too volatile or out of control, like before you start like mining or whatever it is. I'm sure I just completely messed that up, so all of you engineers can correct me in the comments. But they threw a match in 1971, and it burned until like a couple years ago. So it was called the Gateway to Hell. So you have this enormous pit of fire that just you stand half a mile away from it and you can still feel it, right? This thing is gigantic, and it goes like, I think it goes like almost a mile deep, and it just burned and burned and burned for almost like 50 years before I think they finally said that it's like, I don't know, too much like environmental harm or something, so they shut it down. And so that's kind of cool. They actually had a gateway to hell, and it really does look like that too. So it's just a gigantic burning ring of fire. Shout out to Mr. Cash. And you think it would be like a really cool like tourist attraction, right? I mean, at least I do. But Turkmenistan, not exactly a tourist-friendly country, right? So extremely authoritarian. Nobody really goes in, nobody goes out, right? So the Turkmenistan government, it's almost like the Central Asian version of like North Korea. So yeah, it would have been cool to go see that though. Okay, just wanted to touch up my stars a tiny bit. Okay, so, all right, we're getting there. 1991, right? So they achieve independence from the Soviets, and they had a president for life, highly authoritarian, and I didn't even bother writing this guy's name down or any of the subsequent ones because I can't pronounce it, so look it up. I can't pronounce any of these really, really long Central Asian people's names, so sorry guys. And the country does have some elements of Islamic law, like in its legal system, but again, I kind of mentioned Turkey before, so Turkmenistan kind of the same people. And if you know anything about Turkey, Turkey is kind of like what these psychopaths in DC, like the old neocons, that's kind of what they want like the Middle East to be, as far as like paying respect to like Islamic traditions, but being technically like a secular state. So Turkmenistan does have elements of Islamic law, but it is secular as well. So there's not like a real heavy emphasis on like like appearance and stuff that you would normally see in like Islamic countries. Like for example, he outlawed beards like under a certain age. So yeah, not big difference between that and like Saudi Arabia. All right, and then let's see. Yeah, Turkmenistan, kind of a legacy of the Soviet space program, right? So the Soviets, they got all this like, I don't know if you'd call it like fertile land, but like land that isn't really being used for anything. So that's kind of where they set a lot of their space programs up. I kind of mentioned that in the Kazakhstan episode. Yeah, so most of Turkmenistan's population, it lives in like pretty much the city, the capital of Ashgabat. And let's see here. Yeah, and Ashgabat is that's kind of an interesting story in itself. So the president for life, he made everything made out of marble, right? So it is a cool city to see because every single building is white. He outlawed black cars, so there's only white cars, but it's kind of got that creepy sort of North Korea vibe where it's like there's all these giant buildings and stuff, right? And you'd think that'd be like like they're Tokyo or New York City, but there's no people there. So it's kind of creepy just having these massive structures with nobody there. Okay. And yeah, so this city was very costly. Like a lot of it is marble too, right? Marble is being very expensive, but Alps keeps it cool because it's very, very hot in Turkmenistan. A lot of deserts, a lot of uninhabitable climates there. So marble helps cool things down a bit when it gets all hot. as I'm doing this, this little pattern here kind of reminds me of something. If you remember, like those old like Nintendo Power magazines, where they would give you like a map of like a Zelda game, right? But they would print it all out from like a bird's eye view, so they would link all the screens together, and so you could see what you're supposed to do on each level, and like kind of looks like that, right? You go from one level to another one to another. So anyways, at least I thought it did. Okay. And I already think I might have slightly misplaced something, but I might be able to fix it. We'll see. Alright, so losing track of colors here. Alright, so we'll get some greens in the center here. And then it's got like some ornate sort of a red. Little pattern around that with red in the middle. Okay, and then let's see here, get our greens back. Yeah, this is where I messed up a little bit, but I think I can fix it. Alright, so we got another green pattern. Bust out this yellow again, get in there. And then two more little green dots in the center, and then finish it off with the red. And if you guys noticed, I am using slightly different markers today. I'm using these are graphic pens, so kind of like the ones I use to outline these flags. But you've seen me use them before, but I've just used like the blacks. So I do have colored versions of these markers that are gonna help me out with this one, because there's no way I could do this with like the fat kind of markers that I usually use. And let's just darken up the border on this one a little bit. Okay. And then the next one here is more of just green. It doesn't really have there we go. Okay, and then this is green bottom with a little bit of red, but we got to put that green in first before encircling. What is that, like the Eye of Sauron or something in there? I don't know. Alright. Then it's got like these little H's, triple H's. There's like 7 H's in there. Alright, and then it's got, it looks like a couple ferns or something on the bottom. So that pattern doesn't carry all the way through with the yellow on the side, so it kind of finishes off. We kind of drew something like that with the Guatemala flag the other day, those little crossed ferns, or the laurel wreath. It doesn't look too bad. Alright, so we're getting there. What else we got to do here? We got to, since I kind of goofed, I'm just going to go over all of this with yellow to give me a little bit of leeway, because I can always draw over that. Okay, and we need to encircle our green with yellow here, give that a border. How are we doing on time, guys? We're doing all right? Okay. Okay, so now obviously I'm cutting corners a little bit, right? I can't draw every little thing, but you know, as I told you guys many times on my channel with the micro drawing kind of stuff, you it makes you pick and choose, right? You got to be a little bit limited as far as what your details are. So kind of sometimes sort of can make you stronger as an artist too, because it makes you think a little bit. And again, you got to only pick what's important. You can't, I always, I like my detail, right, in my drawings and stuff, but sometimes less is more. So it helps you kind of train yourself. Okay. We're almost there. And so been doing a lot of practice on this one. Trying to get it right, lifting weights. Lifting weights helps you draw? Yeah, it does. It's gives you better control over stuff. And does it really, James? I don't know. I just made that up. James draws everything. Humble YouTube artist and content creator. I do not give medical advice. I want to make some of this pop a little bit more. So I got a white paint marker here that I'm just gonna do a couple little things with, just to give that a little bit more accent. Okay. So is there anything else you want to say about the country, James? That was kind of a, well, I mean, cut me some slack, man. That was pretty intense there. I think I said enough about it. I gave you guys a decent little history about Turkmenistan. Again, it is a country highly authoritarian, very hard to get to. Like if you're just like a traveler, gotta do a lot of tricks with your visa to get into this one. But yeah, I would actually like to go just to see that marble city, right? That's like something, and they're not like it's not like all, because again, this is a secular kind of Islamic state, more like Turkey itself. So it's not like these are all mosques and stuff. Like these are just modern buildings, like skyscrapers that are all made out of marble, and they have like a star pattern that's like literally all over the city in gold, like kind of molded into like their guardrails and like on the buildings and stuff. So it's a very if you're into like extreme sort of order and organization, Turkmenistan might be the place for you, because it's kind of an architectural marvel, but yeah, extremely authoritarian. So good luck getting in there. Good luck getting out of there if you get in there too. So there's like no social media or anything like that there. It's again highly authoritarian, so can't really you're not going to be using your Facebook there or anything like that. It's a lot like North Korea, right? So everything is extremely controlled from the top down, from the government. They have had a little bit of turnover since the president died. One of the guys actually willingly stepped down, but we'll see what happens there in the future. Because again, it doesn't have any time for that democratic nonsense, and doesn't have the time. Like I got the time to draw this flag, I guess. But guys, I could pick and choose here and do little things here and there, but I think we're hold on one second. I think we're almost done. I just want to darken in here a little bit more. Okay, guys, I think that's it. And oh, wait, James, you didn't say what the flag was about. No, I didn't, because I was so busy here. God, cut me some slack. All right, so green field, vertical red stripe near the hoist side. These are 5 tribal gulls. So that's a design that's used in producing carpets. And those are 2 olive branches on the bottom that they're stacked on top of. And then it's got the 5 stars with the crescent moon. And so that green and white represents Islam. 5 stars are the 5 regions or wilayats of Turkmenistan. And the gulls here reflect the national identity of Turkmenistan, where carpet making has long been a part of traditional nomadic lifestyles. So, traditional lifestyles, the lifestyle of an artist, man, it never stops. I'm just a juggernaut going forward. We're unstoppable. We did Turkmenistan, so everything is going to be easy from here on out, guys. We did the hardest one. So that's Turkmenistan. Let me know what you think. I survived. So you're going to see me tomorrow. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you tomorrow for the next video.